Hey everyone, it's Joey, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make Stutter House. To go along this video, you can get the full template at the top of the description. Definitely go grab that. It'll take you to the next level today on your tracks, I promise. Thanks for the support, everyone, and let's dive in. Alright, so we're at 130 BPM, a little faster for house, right? You know, a lot of house these days is like 126, 127, all that. Even that's kind of fast, honestly. But yeah, 130, almost like techno, but it gives it that, like, just a little bit more energy. First thing we got here is the kick. Just a nice fat 909 kick, but there's a trick to getting it to hit like these. Now, obviously, like in these tracks, the kicks, it's not like techno where it's like, you know, engineer this huge kick that takes over the whole track. A lot of times the kicks are actually a little quieter in these tracks. But the sound they're using is a 909 kick, and then you have to do this trick with the filter. What you're going to do is bring the low pass down, and then there's an envelope on it. So what you're doing is you're getting the punch at the start is going to be completely open and bright, and it's going to have the high end to it, right? But then it's just going to quickly go down. So you go from this to this. So that's how you get that like modern, almost like a post-EDM sort of kick, right? It's just a short filter envelope on the 909, plus a little subcut converting things to mono, and then we've got the bass line. So this is doing the chord progression here. It's a pretty simple progression. We're in F major. You also kind of look at this as A minor. So basically it's going from F, which would be the root note, right, up to this A minor chord here. And then it's just jumping up octaves, but the octaves give it a lot of groove. Right, so then for the actual sound on this one, it's made with operator. We've got no FM happening, but two oscillators. We've got a saw wave and then a square wave. So you put those together. Again, no FM. They're just side by side, but then you put it through a low pass with a nice punchy envelope. Little bit of chorus, not too much. Side chain. Cut out the sub again so it's not too like... And then we're converting the bass to mono. Then we got our main hi-hat, so it's just two layers. We got this like 909 hi-hat, and then this very punchy one. And then we're just bringing the width down on those. I've got the clap. Now this is another trick with the drums in Stutter House. I noticed because they'll have these claps that are like this, where it sounds like an 808 or a 909 clap, but it doesn't have the like on the start of the waveform. So what I did here is you can see actually taking the clap and just there's no processing, but we're taking the sample and going. And see, you just turn it into that little punch, and then it's going to sit over the kick really well. We got some live loops. I've got like this live percussion. And then this tambourine, those are just being sidechained together. And that's really it for the drums and kind of like rhythm section, right? But I always like to start with that. So then we have this wavetable pad. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the stutter stuff and all the effects. So this is what we're doing up here. So you can see what's happening is it's basically like a droning chord up top where we have this A minor, right? Because it's literally just A and C, which would be the first two notes of an A minor chord, plus this G up here, which is technically our ninth because we're in F major. Right, so you got those droning, and then down here, it's just going, it's just a root note and a fifth, the same one as the bass line, right? We got F, and then the fifth of F, A, and the fifth of A. So it's actually very simple when you break it down, right? But it creates this cool chord. And then for the actual sound, it's made with wavetable. So what we're doing here is we've got this formant wavetable, the AEIOU, plus a little bit of a triangle wave, a ton of unison. And yeah, you can hear it creates that. So then we have the stutter. So first, before you can kind of think about the stutter, you have to think about like what is creating the stutter. It's literally just volume. It's like a transgate or like an LFO. You know, anything that can kind of move the volume can create this, right? So what we're doing here is we're using Shaper, which is this new thing in Ableton that came with 11. I guess it's not that new now, but then it's going onto this utility here, and it's just moving the gain. So it's just changing the volume. Right, and then you have to kind of dial in like the depth and the offset so that it's not just going like, you know, all the way up like that. But once you get that right, then you can just set this. And the key here, if you want to get some swing, is set it to 8th notes and then create the 16th notes inside of here. Like, because if you just switch it to 16th notes, you will just only have one of these, right? And you could even do it like quarter notes. And maybe make this like even more busy and stuff, right? There's a lot you can do with it, but that's the template. Then we're just sidechaining it, high passing it, and there you go. We also have this little piano. Right, so this is adding a bit of texture. It's the same exact MIDI as the pad, but it's just going don't like that, like shorter stabs, right? And then we're using this toy piano sample inside of Simpler, and I'm warping it and like really stretching it out so that it's actually creating this insane like kind of textured thing, right? So really working with audio can make great sense too. It doesn't always have to just be working from scratch in Wavetable or something like that. You know, just warping some audio inside of Simpler can create really cool stuff. We got a little bit of delay, sidechain, and then a high pass, and then we've got the vocals. Okay, so what we're doing here is it's 2 layers of vocals. So the first one is this. And I'll just turn off all the effects. Here's what it sounds like. So this is actually me. I just went like that, right? Because it's like, that's what a lot of these tracks are doing, is they have that like, it's the rising note where it's going like slowly up in pitch, a very small amount, and then the stutter on top of that, right? So you just have to sing that in. It's not that hard, especially with like auto-tune and stuff. Almost anybody could do this, right? But yeah, so we got that, and then here, like I just pitched it. It's the same 1 minus 5. Here it's that same one, but I've got like this little chunk that I recorded as well, right? So really doing your own vocals is kind of like the best for this, I think, because it's gonna be very hard to find a sample where someone's going like that, right? So then we got this auto tune. So this is actually a Max for Live patch that I like to use. Right, it's just kind of tuning everything really nicely. Like when everything's really electronic like this, you definitely want to make sure it's nice and tuned. We've got that same stutter on here that you saw on the pad. And that's another tip. Use the same exact one. Just copy and paste it, because when you hear these tracks, that's another part of what's making it sound so like full and so, you know, like a tight groove, is the fact that everything is on that exact same shaper. It's not just, you know, it's like exactly the same thing when you play them together. Okay, so then that's going through a little utility. I'm just converting it to mono, so then we can make it a bit wider. I've got chorus, overdrive, reverb, high pass, and then sidechain. And then this one is a vocal where I took it and kind of, I'll show you the original. Right, it's just like some simple vocals, and then I pretty much had the same thing, right? Like the auto tuner, the same shaper. And you see how that works together with the other stutter too. You know, making sure it's mono, a bit of reverb, high pass, and then sidechain. And yeah, so that's gonna be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this full Stutter House template. Links at the top of the description. Don't miss out while it's available, guys. This is the best thing you can do right now to make the best Stutter House track of your life today. I promise. You hear this great template, you can have this in your Ableton as well. Links at the top of the description. Thanks for the support, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.